Hello students, welcome to yet another session. I'm Dr. Shyaonti Talwar, and in this session, we are going to look at notices, the formal correspondence. It's a kind of formal correspondence and it's used for official and business reasons. So, let us look at what a notice is all about. So, this is roughly going to be the focus of the session. First, we'll be looking at what is a notice. Then, we'll be looking at the reasons for writing a notice. We'll have a good look at the format of a notice, as in the layout, the text matter, the font size, and so on and so forth. Then we'll also focus on the language that is used because every genre of writing uses a different kind of language. So we'll see what kind of language notices use. Then we'll quickly go through the do's and don'ts, which one needs to bear in mind while writing notices. And then finally, we'll be going through some sample notices so that you get an idea as to how to go about writing a notice, and you have some easy available samples with you, right? So to start with, what is a notice? So, first of all, it's a piece of formal communication. Now, I am sure that by now, you know the difference between informal and formal communication. Formal communication happens in a formal environment, like an organization, like a school, an educational institution of any kind, a corporate organization, a government office, and NGOs. So these are the organizations which are formally structured and where within the organization, or even if it's from the organization for someone else, the nature of the communication is formal communication because it is work related, right? Now, a notice ideally would be targeted at a particular, I wouldn't say person, in fact, it could be a group of people, right? So, you must have seen walking on the corridors of your college that there are those glass boards that you have, or the soft boards, which have notices. So, there could be exam notices or notices regarding holidays. So these are also kinds of notices. So they are meant for a group of persons. So in case of a college, it could be meant for students or the staff or the non-teaching staff. So it depends, right? A notice is not a very lengthy piece of communication, so it's in that sense it's similar to a news item. So it's a kind of an announcement, right? It's a kind of an information. So it has to be cryptic, it has to be brief. A notice generally gives information about some important event, something that is going to happen. So, for example, it could be about, I have already given you examples, but to give a few more, it could be an invitation to a meeting, an announcement of some event. It could be an instructive notice, that is, it could be giving out instructions. It could be a notice for an appeal for a donation to some cause. It could be a notice telling you about some event that is happening in some other college or in some other campus. So these are the kinds of notices, and these are the reasons why notices are put up. Now, I would like you to have a good look at your screen and figure out the purpose of the notices that you have in front of you. So I'll just give you 5 seconds to think and to go through. Right. So if you look at the notice on your left, you will see that it's a notice to parents. So it's clearly mentioned. The target audience is clearly mentioned over here, right? And this is a ready template. You can see there's the date column, and then there's the language of the notice. This notice is to call your attention to the fact that. So you put the reason over there, right? And something is unsatisfactory. The reason is apparently. How many, how may we cooperate with you in order to secure better work in the future? Sincerely, also, it's clearly a notice to a parent about their child or their ward's performance, um, perhaps at school, right? And then there's another section under that, under the first half of the page. The second half, if you see, it expects the parent to respond. So this is a ready template, and sometimes organizations and institutions do have these ready templates, which come handy when you want to come up with the same notice again and again. So you might have seen that in college, you have exam notices, right? Exam related notices or vacation related notices. So it's the same template. So it helps if you have a common template and you just keep altering the date and the time and the venue and things like that, right? The notice to your right is DAV Public School Nerul. So this is also a school notice, but it's a different kind of notice. So if you see, it has a title which is called Green Drive. So we know it's got something to do maybe with nature or something with the environment, right? So, and just pay attention to the language. This is to inform all students that our school is organizing a green drive to create awareness among the students and the general public about the need to conserve our forests and wildlife as part of the World Wildlife Day celebrations on 3rd March. So it's clearly an environment related notice, right? So this is to inform all students. So this is typical stock phrase which is used in a notice. All students are requested to participate. Now, this could also be a stock phrase and make a difference to the world. For more information, please contact the undersigned. So, the person who has issued the notice. So, these were some templates for you, some ready templates. Now, now you may have you may have some kind of an idea about the format for notice writing, right? So let's now quickly do a recap of the kind of format that needs to be used for notice writing. So notice writing format should include name of the institution, the issuing authority, notice title, then date, the word notice, no, and then the title that comes below the notice, right? So that the person who is reading knows that this is a notice and this is a notice about this particular thing. Then it can have the date and the writer's name with designation, right? And then let's see what other things a notice should have. uh, it should have the name of the issuing agency. Now if you remember, if you look at this over here, you will see DAV Public School. So this is the issuing agency, right? And then you have the word notice, then you have the title, the topic of the subject of the notice, right? So name of the issuing agency, which is the name of the organization. Then you have the date. So if you look over here, you will see the date, right? Here also there's a column for date. Then you have the title or the subject, which we already discussed. And then you have the body. Body is the actual content which comes under the notice. So this is the body of the notice, right? This entire thing is the body. And if you see, it has the date over here, and then it has the event, the name of the event, and other details. And finally, it should have the authorized signatory and their contact details. So you have it over here, if you see, right? So that's the format which you should bear in mind.